Today is Wednesday, Parashat Bechukotai. Parasha begins, Mi'im Bechukotai telechu, and Rashi explains, Shetiu amelim b'Torah, you have a mitzvah to learn Torah, to involve yourself and invest effort in learning Torah. So we'll learn a few mitzvot associated with learning Torah today. Number one, it's a mitzvat aseh, it's a positive commandment for every person to learn Torah in order for him to be able to fulfill the mitzvot and to practice the mitzvot. You need to learn Torah. The obligation to learn Torah is for every single person, whether a person is poor or rich, whether he's young or older. Even somebody who's so poor that he needs to go and collect tzedakah, he still has an obligation to learn Torah. Even a person is married, has children, is preoccupied with a family and with work, he still has to fix time and assign time for learning Torah in the morning and in the evening, like the pasuk says, "V'hagita bo yomam v'layla." You have the obligation to learn Torah in the morning and in the evening. So even if it's a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the evening, there is a mitzvah to learn Torah every single day. Then a person is obligated to learn Torah. The pasuk says, "Kol yemei hayecha," all the days of your life. In other words, even on the day of passing, a person still has the obligation to learn Torah, to involve himself in gaining more knowledge of Torah. There is another mitzvah associated with learning Torah, that a person should not be embarrassed to ask questions when he's in a Torah class. And on the other hand, the teacher should not be too strict with them, and he should not get angry if they don't understand what he's explaining to them, but rather repeat it several times and make it in a way that is easy to understand. So that's the obligation of the teacher, is to make it easy and to have patience, and even if it has to be repeated several times. And the student has the obligation to not be embarrassed to ask a question if he doesn't understand something. Another halakha that is involved with learning Torah is when the teacher comes into the class to teach, don't ask him right away a question. Give him a chance to be settled in terms of settle his mind, so he really has the attention to be able to answer. Two people should not ask questions at the same time, each person on his own, and also you should ask questions that are pertaining to the subject that you're learning. You shouldn't get involved. Of course, you can ask any question you want, the Rav, but the idea is if you're learning a certain subject, the question should be pertinent to the subject that is being learned. Another halakha that has to do with the place of learning Torah, that you're not allowed to speak mundane matters. You don't even, if somebody sneezes and you're right in the middle of learning Torah, you're exempt from having to wish him, labriut, you're not obligated, and you shouldn't, because so not to take a break from learning Torah. Now what's interesting is the kedusha, the holiness, the sanctity of a place of learning Torah is of a higher level of sanctity than even a place of prayer. Right? So that's the idea, some of the halachot. Of course, there are more halachot, but in general, the obligation to learn Torah is for every person. It's not just for the rabbis or those who are committed, but every single person should see a great zchut, a privilege, to learn Torah that Hashem gave us as a gift. And through learning Torah, you'll be able to gain knowledge, to be able to lead a life with purpose and sanctified. Every day could be sanctified through the application of the mitzvot and the wisdom that you gain in the Torah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.